Hello everybody and welcome to my January wrap-up! Woo! And actually January was insane, like totally insane. I've read 17 books, like oh my god. And those weren't like tiny little books with 200 pages, no. I have some in here with over 400 pages and yeah, I actually didn't count how many pages that were this month, but I probably should do that. Well, because I have so many books, I won't tell you much about them, basically just my rating, because otherwise this would be way too long. So let's just start. So the first book that I've read this year, or in January, was Wait for You by Jennifer Armentrout. If you know me for some time, you know this is my absolute favorite book, and my tradition actually is to read my favorite book at the beginning of the year, so the year starts with an awesome book. And yeah, so this Bay is always my first read of the year and I still loved it to death. I finally marked my favorite pages. It was the third time that I've read this and as always 5 out of 5 stars. Then the next book that I've read was Winter Wishes by Queen of Hell, which is like a short novella of Kayla and Lachlan. I still don't know how to speak on his name. And yeah, it's before the epilogue of the book and I actually forgot the name of the book. I'm so awesome. But I just love this novella and yeah, I can't even bear it. Just so cute and so 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I've read The Same Side by C.M. DuPorter, and this is the second book in the series. And oh my god, this series, like the first book was okay, the second book not so much. Lexi was super annoying, she was so needy and insecure and I can't stand her, and like Raven, something just rubs me wrong about him. I also can't stand him, and so it only got 2 out of 5 stars. Then I've read Surviving Ice by K.A. Tucker, and can we talk about this cover like epicness? And yeah, I just really love everything that K.A. Tucker writes, and this was no exception. And Ivy was epic, and she's not the typical new adult heroine, and yeah, like her actions are also different than normally, so it's so refreshing to read this, and I got 5 out of 5 stars. Then I've read The Winning Side by C.M. DuPorter, the third and thankfully last book in the series, and oh my god, I've wrote a whole rant about this book on Goodreads. Like, I'm going to link it down below because it's just so long. I've never wrote such a long review and I was just ranting about how this book is completely wrong and gives a wrong view of how relationships should be. There is so much talking about God and I can't stand it, and like, no, just no. So I got 2 out of 5 stars, even though I kind of really think that like I should probably give it 1 out of 5 stars. Next up, I've read Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and this is the first book in the spin-off series of the Addicted series that you actually have to read to continue on with the Addicted series. And it's about Rose and Connor, and it was so interesting to read this because Rose and Connor think differently, and it was sometimes hard to understand them because they think so differently, but it was so interesting to read and how they act and why they do that, and so it got 5 out of 5 stars. Then I've read Touch Me Not by April Baker, and I've got a copy for review from the author for this, and I was so surprised because I didn't expect to actually like it because it was in third person, and normally I don't like third person because I can connect with the characters slowly, but this was so good. I actually connected with the characters. I was like kind of in their head, even though normally you don't have that with third person, and the storyline was so epic and it got 5 out of 5 stars. After that, I've read The Score by Elle Kennedy, the third book in the Off-Campus series, and I absolutely adore Elle Kennedy and her books, and the Off-Campus series is so awesome, and I couldn't wait to read this one, and I wasn't disappointed. It was just as epic as the other ones, so 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I've read Hothouse Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and this is the second book in the spin-off series, The Calloway Sisters. And yeah, you actually have to read this before you can continue on with the series, like the Addicted series. So I read it, and it's about Daisy and Rag, and they are my favorite characters, even in the Addicted series. So I was so happy to read that book, and I wasn't disappointed. They're so epic, I still love them, and 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I've read This Is Falling by Ginger Scott, and yeah, it was okay, but like nothing special. It's the normal new adult story, like nothing new, and it had the plotline. It only takes the boy and the girl starts to heal, and this is just so unrealistic, and yeah, therefore I couldn't give it more than 3 out of 5 stars, because also the characters were like a tad bit too dramatic for me. Then I've read How to Be Bad by Ilocad, Lauren Miracle, and Sarah Mlanovsky. Actually, Gabby got this book for me for my birthday last year, and it's my signed book. Woo! And yeah, so I finally want to read it, and this is young adult, and as you might know, I'm not really a fan of young adult anymore, but I want to read it because Gabby liked it. So it was okay. I expected it to be more fun because it's like a road trip, but it's not road trippy fun, like not at all. And the one girl, Jessie, annoyed me so much. I couldn't stand her, so it got 3 out of 5 stars. After that, I finally read Tempting the Best Man by Jennifer Lamontraud, and this is one of the few books that I haven't read by her. Like now I only need to read 3 more books by her and I've read everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed it as always. Jen's writing is epic, but it's so short that you don't get the normal feeling for the characters that are so epic in her books, but still 5 out of 5 stars. After that, I've read Make It Count by Megan Erickson, and I actually started this book before, but I stopped because like I wasn't really feeling it, and I've read like 5 pages, but I wasn't feeling it, so then I've started it again later on, and it was amazing. I loved it. It's just epicness, and 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I've read Beautiful Broken Mess by Kimberly Lauren, and this is the second book in the Beautiful Broken Rules trilogy, I think, and yes, I really enjoyed it, and it was fun to read, but I was like a little bit disappointed with the characters, like the 2 main guys, because they wouldn't let the girl explain, and yeah, so it got 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I've also read Beautiful Broken Promises by Kimberly Lauren III and final book, and this is like about my favorite character in the series, Lane, and so I was so happy to finally read her story, and I wasn't disappointed. It's like my favorite out of the 3 and 5 out of 5 stars. And the next book that I've read is First Verse by Emily Snow, and it's like a novella for the real book, the before story of Second Verse. So it was kind of short and it was okay, it was kind of fun, so it got 4 out of 5 stars. And finally, we're coming to the last book that I've read in January, and that is Losing It by Cora Kamek, and this was a reread for me, and I still absolutely adored this book. I just love how awkward Bliss is and how relatable she is, and yes, so it's one of my favorite books, and of course I got 5 out of 5 stars. That's it! That's my January wrap up. Finally, I have a feeling that this is really long. So February TBR isn't long, it's only The Power by Jennifer Lamontraud, the second book in the Titan series, and I can't wait to read that one. And yes, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye! How that lasted for a day, I say